Hallo, hier ist Michael Adams für Stock-Telegraph. Es ist Dienstag, der 20.01. Ich bin immer noch in Vancouver. Die Vancouver Resource Conference ist jetzt vorbei. Ich bin aber die ganze Woche noch da, um einige interessante Unternehmen zu besuchen und dort die neuesten Updates zu bekommen. Eins dieser Unternehmen ist Maxim Resources. Maxim handelt unter dem Symbol MXM an der TSX Venture. Und ja, es gibt ganz spannende Entwicklungen, weil es gibt einen neuen President bei dem Unternehmen, und zwar Andrew Mail. Den habe ich jetzt hier vor die Kamera geholt, damit wir die neuesten Informationen bekommen. So Andrew, thanks for taking the time to talk to me and give an update to my subscribers. You just took over the helm at Maxim as yes. President and CEO. So how long have you been with Maxim before that?
About 5 years. We originally started out as a consultant to the company, and then the president at the time, CEO at the time, Art Brown, who's now the chairman, he asked me to join the board of directors about 4 years ago.
Okay, and what's your experience, what's your background?
Corporate finance, corporate development, as well as being a director and officer of various different public companies. Recently came off as the CEO of a mining resource company in Brazil, where we established a mineral claim package, expanded that out. We took our own property from greenfield to brownfield, put it into production. We managed to acquire the two adjacent producing mining operations in the same mineral category, consolidated the entire district, and brought in a substantial private equity investor out of Australia who made a multi-million-dollar commitment to fund that project over the next 10-12 years.
So that's some impressive track record.
Thank you.
Perfect. Yeah, let's touch base on Maxim. The project you acquired is in Morocco. It's a fairly large project. Maybe we talk about Morocco in general first. Why you think that's the right place to be in, and then go into the details of the project.
The economics of Morocco and the regime, the political regime, the geopolitical risk is all very calm. It's a nice place to do business. There's a lot of companies that have already established themselves in Morocco, a lot of major companies that are listed in Europe, a couple that are listed in North America. And from our perspective, we've always looked at trying to find projects in countries or in locations which is a little off the beaten path, a little unique. Recently we were involved in a project in Trinidad, and that we exited that project about 8-9 months ago.
Yeah, and because Maxim is not a brand new company, it's around for a couple of years, right? Like 10 years or so. Yeah, so that's fairly impressive. Okay, and so you sold this interest in the project in Trinidad.
Yes.
Yeah, and with this money you were looking for some new opportunities. And this is how you found Morocco.
That's right, exactly. Okay. So we took the capital from the renegotiation or the negotiation of the exit of Trinidad, and we've utilized that capital.
How much was that?
2.5 million.
Okay.
US.
So let me. Oh, how do you pronounce the name of the project? I always try it. I can't do it. So.
Hassiberkane.
Okay, I will never learn it.
The concession is 5,400 square kilometers.
Right.
It's on the eastern side of Morocco, just south of the port of Nador, and it's approximately 5,400 square kilometers. The Hydrocarbon Authority in Morocco named it for us, and the naming was Hassiberkane.
Does it have a meaning?
Hassiberkane is one of the towns located within the region there. So.
Okay. And how's the infrastructure there? So
it's excellent. You know, through the concession itself, we have paved highways. The terrain undulates up and down with 200, 300 meter difference. It's a sandy, desert type landscape, but access via roads, very easy. The port of Nador is a very large port, and we're 25 kilometers south of that port.
Okay. And how about power? Is there access to power?
There is, yeah. Power is readily available. It's on the grid.
Okay.
Depending on the location of where we're actually going to be working, we may have to extend power into that specific location, but it's readily available.
Okay. And how about the labor force there? Is that skilled workforce on the ground, or do you have to bring people in from other places?
So we've taken the opportunity to actually hire consultants to do the work that we're doing right now.
Okay.
Those consultants are located in varying different locations: London, Dubai, North America. But the skilled workforce, or the workforce that's available to us there as a labor force, it's readily available. There's lots of ability to hire people locally. The more skilled people that we'll be hiring are probably going to be people from varying different locations, such as London and Dubai. So
Okay.
from a skilled asset
Right.
perspective.
You told me before we started taping this interview that you have been very lucky because you discovered, or one of your guys discovered something in the Kingdom software system,
Yes.
which is fairly essential for moving the project forward.
The concession is known as a reconnaissance concession, and there is a work program associated with the reconnaissance concession.
Okay.
Through that, one of our requirements was to reprocess 2D seismic.
Oh, okay.
We had thought that this data may have existed, and as a result of the hiring of the exploration manager that we just done, that exploration manager was able to actually find that data inside the Kingdom software system.
Okay.
So the previous owners of this concession who let it go some years ago, the previous owners of this concession who let it go some years ago had already reprocessed this data.
Okay.
So now with the advent of finding this data, we're able to actually go back and review that data. It shortens the requirements of our work program up. So
Can you put a value to this data which you got?
probably about $200,000.
Okay.
So, we're looking to not change the work program around too dramatically. What we're looking to do is looking to repurpose the use of that capital to possibly do some more infill 2D.
Okay. And so you mentioned that in Morocco the system works that there's a couple of stages. Yeah, and right now you're in this reconnaissance stage, and the next one will be the exploration, and then it's development and production. Are these the 4 stages?
Yes, they are.
Okay, good. And so when do you expect? So you have 6 months to go.
We have 6 months left on our reconnaissance contract. So within that period of time, what we'll do is we'll complete the reprocessing of the 2D seismic. We'll
Okay.
do some surface geochem. We'll do some analysis of the topography, and then what'll end up happening is we will define through our technical team. We will define what looks to be prospective areas,
Okay.
and from there we'll move into an exploration stage.
Okay, and with cash on hand, what you have right now, how far will this take you, or do you need to? You just recently raised a small amount of money. Maybe you can give us a comment on this. But how long will this money last, or do you need to raise more money? And if so, what are the opportunities to raise more money?
Sure. So right now what we're looking to do is the capital that we have on hand is sufficient to carry us through the balance of the reconnaissance
Okay.
project. The recent financing that we did was just a small financing, and it was predominantly to facilitate bringing in a couple of strategic investors.
Okay,
So that
from
was
North America or?
European.
European,
So a couple of institutional European investors.
Okay.
Just a small start, but it's an opportunity for us to work with them in the coming development of the company.
Okay.
So from that, what we're also looking to do is, as we develop through this, we're looking to actually move and do a dual listing on the AIM market in London.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
we'll be a dual listed company, TSX Venture as well as AIM.
Okay. Yeah, in my understanding, the AIM market, especially because of the tight connections between the London investment community and the African continent, there's a lot of companies from oil and gas with projects in North Africa that are dual listed on the AIM because the access to capital is way easier, even if listing on AIM is pretty expensive.
Yes. Yeah, the companies that are already in North Africa predominantly are listed in London and on AIM. We've looked at it as a strategic positioning of Maxim so that we'd have access to that same capital being in the region.
Right.
So it's an opportunity for us to speak to the same institutions that have, and the same investor base that has already completed their due diligence, if you will,
Okay.
on Morocco as an investment country.
Okay.
So they're comfortable with it. Those investors are comfortable with it. As we've moved into that region, we're looking to actually hopefully access that same capital base.
Okay. And so the plan for the company moving forward is to strictly go on your own, or do you want to partner up with a major, form a joint venture, or what's your vision?
So the thinking is that as we get through the reprocessing of this 2D and we'll get through the reconnaissance project, what will end up happening is we'll move from there into this exploration phase. At that point in time, we'd be looking for a farming partner.
Okay. Like, you would prefer major or?
I think we'd all prefer a major.
So what other companies are around your project or in that area, like bigger names?
Yeah, sure. So the companies that we would look to as being adjacent to us or similar to us, but obviously at a larger market cap than us at this stage of the game, the Circle Oil, the Gulf Sands,
Okay.
the Petro Morocco. These are the types of companies that have onshore opportunities in Morocco, which have had good success.
Okay, and there was, to sum up, there was a couple of good information you gave me prior to this talk, is that Morocco is importing most of their hydrocarbons,
Yeah.
and so there's a big support of the Moroccan government, to bring companies with experience and with technology into the country, and you get some advantages, like there's no taxes on the imports. And what's this situation?
Yeah.
What's the support from the government?
The economics that the Moroccan government have established for energy companies to come in and develop their resources is quite good. They've created a 10-year tax holiday on corporate tax.
Okay.
They're prepared to participate 25% when the project goes into development.
And they're paying for that 25%?
They are, yes.
It's no carried interest.
No, it's not a carried interest.
That's really good.
And I know all these things are obviously up for negotiation as you get to those stages, depending on the size of the project.
Right.
But Morocco as a country are importing many of their hydrocarbon needs at this point in time. So the country is keen to develop a hydrocarbon
Right.
regime, and it certainly seems that they've got good opportunity to do so.
Okay. Yeah, that was very good for our first interview. I will touch base, and of course I'm going to continue to watch the developments of the company, and maybe, with the next couple of news releases, we can touch base again and give an update to our subscribers.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much, Andrew.
Thank you, Michael.